talks nice and then he bombs everybody in the evening. There's a little bit of a problem there.
Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, they have always shared warm ties. In the 2016 presidential election, in the campaign, Trump praised Putin. When Trump won the election, Putin was among the first leaders to congratulate him. Trump often calls him a genius. He is always willing to meet Putin. This year, when he returned to the White House, Trump dialed up the friendliness. There were multiple phone calls and joint diplomatic efforts. Trump even blamed Ukraine for the war. But of late, there's been a shift in energy.
Because Putin really surprised a lot of people. He talks nice and then he bombs everybody in the evening. So there's a little bit of a problem there, and I don't like it.
Translation, you're not the man I thought you were. Donald Trump says Putin talks nice, but then he bombs Ukraine, and the US president does not like that. Trump, for all his transactional instincts, hates being played. And according to insiders, he felt played. So now he's rooting for the other team, meaning he's backing Ukraine. Today, he hosted the NATO chief in the White House. It is this man, Mark Rutte. Trump says the US will be sending weapons to NATO. The military alliance will be paying for those weapons. And those weapons will then be sent to Ukraine.
They have a lot of money and they want to do it. They feel very strongly about it. And we feel strongly about it too. But we're in for a lot of money and we don't want to do anymore. And we can't. But we make the best, and we're going to be sending the best to NATO. NATO is going to take care of it. It's going to be coordinated by NATO.
Not just that, Trump is also planning to impose secondary tariffs on Russia. That is, if they don't agree to a peace deal in 50 days. According to Trump, the tariffs could be as high as 100%. 100% tariffs on Russia. Russia is already the most sanctioned nation in the world. It is subject to more than 20,000 sanctions. So this is unlikely to make much of a difference.
We don't have an agreement in 50 days. That's what we're doing. Secondary tariffs. And they're biting. And I hope we don't get to the point where we do. But I've been hearing so much talk. It's all talk. It's all talk, and then missiles go into Kyiv and kill 60 people. It's got to stop.
So Trump is sending weapons to Ukraine and threatening sanctions on Putin. This is a clear pivot. Donald Trump had pledged to end the Ukraine war in one day within 24 hours of taking office. So he withheld military aid. He publicly berated Ukrainian President Zelensky at the White House. He said peace was not possible without him and Putin in the same room. But forget ending the war in one day. It's been almost 6 months and there seems to be no end in sight. Something has clearly snapped. Trump is sending Patriot missile systems to Ukraine. He hasn't decided on the number yet, but he believes that Ukraine needs protection, hence the missiles. But like we said, Washington won't foot the bill. Trump said NATO will be paying for this.
They're going to pay us 100% for them, and that's the way we want it. And we've been trying to get that again. I don't think Biden ever asked for it. We're in for about $350 billion. Europe is in for $100 billion. That's a lot of money, 100, but they should be in actually for more than us. So as we send equipment, they're going to reimburse us for that equipment. Doesn't that sound good? That's the way it should have been a long time ago.
Donald Trump came to power dissing Biden's war policies. He promised to get America out of it. And yet, just months later, Trump is doing the very same thing. Trump, too, is sending weapons to Ukraine. His supporters may not be very happy about it. But if there's one party cheering this move, it is, of course, Ukraine. This pivot is like a lifeline for them. Russia has been ramping up its attacks in the last few weeks. Just days ago, it launched the biggest aerial attack since the war began. People are being killed. Cities are burning. So Ukraine needs some leverage. And these Patriot missile systems will provide that, even though they're unlikely to change the course of the war. As we speak, U.S. Special Envoy to Ukraine, Keith Kellogg, is in Kyiv. He met with President Zelensky, and the two discussed air defenses.
We have often meetings with you and your team. Thanks to your team also for coming to Kyiv. Thank you so much. We are thankful to President Trump for his all messages and very strong decisions about resuming deliveries for us, and we are thankful for bipartisan support.
But Kyiv is still being cautious. After all, they have learned to not read too much into Trump's words. As for Russia, they're not reacting very strongly to it. Today, Moscow talked about the weapons deliveries, how the West keeps sending weapons to Ukraine, but they strictly stopped short of directly slamming Trump.
A lot of words have been said about how expensive it is and so on. Now it looks like European countries will be paying for these supplies. Something they'll pay for, something they won't. But the fact remains that supplies of weapons, ammunition, and military equipment from the U.S. to Ukraine have continued and are continuing.
So what happens now? For Trump, everything is a negotiation. He needed Putin on his side for a bigger goal, which is peace in Ukraine. But Putin sees deals as a weakness, so he did not budge. And the most humiliating part for Trump, Putin did not give him a win. So now the US president's patience appears to have run out. But let's be clear, this is not a full pivot to the Biden-era Ukraine policy. Trump still wants to look like the guy who ends wars. The weapons being shipped are mostly defensive. Also, Trump may be sending missiles, but he's still trying to frame it as a business deal. Just a transaction where NATO pays, America profits, and Trump looks tough. So the missiles are flowing again. But don't mistake this for a love letter to Kyiv, because for Trump, loyalty is conditional. And when the deal stops making sense, so does the friendship. Putin gave him nothing to sell back home. For a man who hates looking weak, that is unforgivable. Right now, this is not a full breakup, at least not yet, but it's a cold shoulder, maybe a warning shot to the Russians. That even Trump's favorite strongmen do not get unlimited passes.
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
Stands at $36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktor
Hindi,
$30 trillion ka-charge
Indonesian,
pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Sekali radikali.
Japanese,
4 兆ドル以上も
Portuguese,
por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select a language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.